I should get you.
Right, okay. Well, welcome everyone. Thanks for pitching up and all that. Hello America. That's a song, isn't it? I won't sing. Right, welcome to the 10CR Drivers Meeting, Part 2. And well done for successfully navigating yourself here and passing the first test. Right, over the course of the next 30-40 minutes, I'll try and take you through hopefully everything you'll need to make the 10CR a successful run, stress-free and enjoyable. If I can ask you to try and resist holding fire on questions to the end, because chances are I'll probably answer them as I'm going through. So without further ado, we'll go to your team packs that you should all now have and picked up. I hope so, because I'm not expecting anyone else to actually pick any more up. So some of us have obviously got more than others, Mr. Godfrey. So you should have a rally bag or rucksack, your t-shirts for your team, your door stickers. No rally plates this year because basically it's a case of stickers can go on any car, rally plates can only go on certain cars with bumpers and things like that, so we just stuck with stickers. And for those cars that are obviously registered in the UK, I've included a UK sticker, as we've obviously got to use those rather than the GB ones that we've all had on the cars before. At that point, I'll say a big thank you to Charlie Deards, who sorted the logo and design out for me. So I came up with a basic design and then Charlie made it look right. So, as usual. Okay, on from there, we'll turn to handy hints, which I'm hoping you've all downloaded, read about a million times, digested, ready for testing, etc. Huge thanks to Annie Andrews for producing that. As I said, there are numerous things in there that you really do need to know for when you're doing the run and the prep up to. I'll try and go over the main items this evening when we're talking. Obviously one of the main things over the last few months of prep that's been fretting us a little bit is the COVID-19 restrictions. The great news is that in the majority of countries, as of the beginning of August, they have lifted a hell of a lot of the restrictions to the point now that they're not asking for anything at the ports. Certainly so far as those that are booked with Irish ferries, there is no restriction at all. Basically, they're not asking for anything going out to France and returning to the UK. So I know a few of you up here are taking sort of different routes via Newcastle, Hull, wherever. But as I say, I would check with your companies, but in the main, I don't think you'll get any delays regarding that. Where you probably will is regarding passport control, because you're getting, most ports are doing double hits, so you're getting hit twice when you're leaving and then hit twice when you arrive. So it's taking a lot longer to clear through. The suggestion I've had is it would normally, they suggest 45 minutes before departure, and they're suggesting at least 60, really 90 minutes before, so to allow yourself enough time to get through. I don't think they'll turn anyone away if you do end up missing your ferry. Obviously it just puts you back on the road time wise if you do, so just try and give yourself as much time as you possibly can. The one thing to remember about COVID-19 is you won't get challenged at borders, but you may get asked to present a COVID pass if you're stopped by police or anything like that, to make sure that you are legally allowed in the country. The one where that seems to be happening quite a lot is the Netherlands. So if you aren't vaccinated or you haven't got an exemption certificate, the Netherlands, you are not welcome. Be warned. So if you have any doubts, then go and visit the Gov website, gov.uk, and check the latest conditions and make sure that you are safe to enter the country. The others shouldn't be an issue, but the Netherlands could well be. I had 2 people last night who basically are looking as though they are going to have to skip Roanoke. They're going to do the run, but they're going to have to leave, and they can't go to the Netherlands. So just be careful. Right, kit to take. So obviously I've been organising these a few sort of years now, so you kind of get an idea about the stuff that you need and all that. So suggestions are as follows. A road atlas. Please do take a road atlas. You know, and make sure it's a reasonably up-to-date one, not something from the 60s. It's basically, if all else fails, the sat-nav goes, you lose reception on your phone, you know, all that sort of thing, at least you've got something that will get you out of jail. Obvious things like pens, pencils, highlighters, a fire extinguisher. You never know if Phil's been near your car, God only knows what could happen.
That was the wrong car. I've never taken my GT6 on this event. Somebody fingered the wrong man, and not in that way.
Warning triangles. So I think it's mandatory to have one, but a lot of people suggest 2. So you've got them from both angles, but it's up to you. First aid kit and in date. Spare bolt kit, high-vis jackets. Make sure your high-vis jackets are inside the car, not in the boot. Tools, again, Phil. And spares. Now, obviously, when it comes to spares, be sensible. Rule of thumb: take what you are prepared to change by the side of the road. You know, I mean, it's pointless taking a full clutch kit if you're not willing to actually drop a gearbox by the side of the road and do it. So don't weigh the car down with loads of stuff if you're not prepared to use it. So just bear that in mind. Right, on from there. For the main entrance and all drivers, passports. Have you all checked your passports? The expiry dates, made sure that you've got at least 6 months on by the time you come back. Car insurance, obviously, that includes cover for all of your drivers. Driving licence, that you've got either a photocard one, or if you haven't, that you've got an international driving permit. On the subject of driving licences, because of the fact that you've not got a paper side of that, you can actually get your driving licence details with the detailed explanation about what you're actually allowed to drive, any penalty points, all that sort of thing. You can get a printout and code from the DVLA. It's free of charge. You can just go in and just say, you know, sort of get driving licence details, and you can just fill in your details that you need to, and it will generate a code, and you can print off a PDF. or just get an electronic version. They're valid for 21 days, so if you go and do it now, and I don't mean right now, but if you go and do it now, it'll be valid for the duration of the run. So you can do it, print it, and not have to worry about it then. Obviously when you get home. Already said about international driving permit. If you do need one, you can get that at the post office, if you can find a post office. They're usually, I think they're valid for about 3 years. If you get one. Other things that I've actually already said about as well. Those of you, we might still have a few people where you've got valid European health insurance cards. If you haven't, it's the new global health insurance card. There's not a great deal of difference between the two. I think there's a couple of countries that aren't included in the global one now, but it's basically so that you can get free or discounted healthcare in the foreign countries, like in the EU. So worth taking, because otherwise you'll get stung for full amount, and you might not be able to claim back on your health insurance or your travel insurance. On the subject of personal travel insurance as well, sensible to have, not mandatory, but it's just sensible. Breakdown cover for your vehicle. Personal opinion, don't risk the free stuff that you get with your insurance, because it might not get your car home, might not have enough value. They do tend to look at the value of the car, and if it looks as though it's going to